Good morning and welcome to Ringer Sports Studio. Today is Saturday, October the 26th. I'm Ringer Senior and I'm here with,
Rare Junior.
we're broadcasting our Saturday edition at Ringer Sports Studio. If you haven't had a chance to check us out, please do so. We're at Ringer Sports Studio, or we can find us at Colin Ring 12, where we post our YouTube videos for all the major sports. World Series action happening now, Major League Baseball continuing on. Game two starting today for the World Series, and then we've got college football action for today, NFL action for tomorrow. Recording pretty much every week. All these best time of year to be checking out sports. Running pretty much 7 days a week. We got Monday night football, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday college football, Friday college football, Thursday night NFL, you name it. Saturday, Sunday, of course, jam-packed football for the next few weeks as the college football season starts to wind down. Um, so if you haven't had a chance to check us out, please do so. Father son duo talking stats, sides, totals, you name it. We're talking about it and what we like. So looking back at our day yesterday, we missed out on another 5% play. We've actually lost our last three 5% plays, unfortunately. Trying to get to that quarter of a century mark, we're sitting at 25-11 now, just under 70%, which is still amazing for any handicappers out there. Anybody that's keeping tracks of their sports betting, over 70% is off the charts, and in long term is a massive amount of money that can be made at that percentage. So a little bit of a losing streak going on. We had Boise and UNLV last night over 63 and a half, over 66 and a half. Actually, and it ended up at 53. Way too many opportunities for both teams to score here. We thought this was going to be an absolute shootout, and we actually thought it might have been our play of the year in terms of what we liked there. But I know the sharp money brought it down to 63 from 66 for obviously good reason. So I suspect a lot of public dollars were lost yesterday, including our own on that one specifically. But if you look at our outcomes last night on our leans and our overall totals, we had Boston College +7 that came in. They lost by 4. We had USC as a lean -14. They won by 22. We had the over as a play that we put in ourselves over the Major League Baseball World Series game over 8.5. Man, that was a barn burner. That wasn't even close to going over. 0-0 after 5. I think 1-0 after 6. 1-1 into the seventh. To 3-2, 3-2 going into the ninth for the Dodgers, and then the wheels fell off for the Yankees. Freddie Freeman with a miraculous grand slam walk off, getting that up and over the total 6-3 final. So we were able to cash that 4% play, I believe it was, that we made on that one specifically. We also had Mookie Betts over total bases that didn't come in. Unfortunately, he crushed the ball at all three times up. First time up, hit the warning track, the left field. Second time up, line drive, short hop for third base with the runner on third to hold him at third. Third time up, massive bomb to center on a line shot just over the shoulder catch by Judge, and then of course he walked in the 10th. And the second time up, he had a little bloop hit over the first baseman's head, and Rizzo made an over the shoulder catch in between right field and first base. So had some bad luck getting over that total bases total, but that's all right. We're back at it today. We've got lots of action happening today. Ringer Junior has a couple college picks and a couple NBA picks, and also I'm gonna give you my public plays or my official plays, and then I've got a bunch of leans on both sides and totals that I'll just ramble off as we get this video going on. But again, if you hadn't had a chance to check us out, we're 24-11 on our 5% plays. NBA is kickstarted. We're actually 4-1 on the season so far, 80% on our NBA plays this specific week. We're 3-0 on our spreads, 1-0 on our totals, and 1-0 on our props, and 3-1 on our spreads. I think I can't remember, but anyways, we're 4-1, so we're off to a really good start. Really good start there. And NFL action as well. We're running at a 61% clip for all of our NFL picks so far this season. So we're doing well. We've missed the mark on a few of our NCAA picks over the last little bit, but overall we're doing great. So let's jump in. We'll start with you, Ringer Junior. What do you have on the docket for today?
I had two picks in college football today. I like with my first one, it's probably my favorite of the day. I like Texas to bounce back against Vanderbilt. I'm gonna take the over 34.5 team total for them. Vanny's defense has not been too good this year. Uh, In their last two games, they only gave up 14 and 13. They gave up 35 to Alabama, 30 to Missouri, 36 to Georgia State. But Texas, I see them having a massive bounce back, especially with the bye next week. They scored 56 against UTSA, 51 against UL Monroe, 35 against Mississippi State, and actually 34 against really good OU defense, and only 15 against Georgia. But I do see them bounce back and probably putting up 42 points today. So I like that as a 4% play. And my other one, I like K State minus 10. I'm gonna take this as a 3% play at home against Kansas. Massive rivalry here. I do see Kansas State probably winning this by 14 today. Their last four of the last five matchups have been 20-point games, or sorry, 20 plus for Kansas State. Kansas State at home. Kansas quarterback, he has 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions this year. Kansas coming off their probably best game of the year against Houston, winning by 28 points, but losing four games before that. The only thing that scares me here is four of Kansas' five losses have been within one score, and the other one was an 11-point loss against TCU. But I do see them probably winning this game by 14 at home against Kansas. So that's 3% play.
Right on. Yeah, the Texas game should be interesting. Vandy's surprised a lot of people, obviously upsetting Alabama. They have been scoring a lot of points. Texas coming off that really tough loss to Georgia really didn't play that well. They jumped to the number one seed and then they bounced right into there back to number five with the Georgia. I wouldn't call it an upset. It was upset on record because Texas would have been a favorite, but they got to get their offense back in order. Their defense is stout. I think Vandy's going to run into some challenges here. I think the over/under total is sitting at 51. They don't see Vandy scoring as many points. Texas is on a bye next week as well, so they have a get it right situation here. There could be some backdoor cover on Vandy on the big minus 18 favorite for Texas, but I do like the pick of 34.5. I think they're going to get up and over this total with redemption after that tough loss to Georgia last week. The Kansas State game, you're right. Kansas has actually been really tight on all their games and covering most of the ATS. Its line was at 9, it jumped to 10 this morning, so it looks like Sharp's coming in on Kansas State here. I think that's a good opportunity for them to cash on that one as your 3% play. Jumping over to my two of my official plays. Actually, I've got 5 official plays, 2 on the side, 3 on totals. Looking at Ohio State at home to Nebraska. Ohio State's the number 4 team, coming off that super tough loss to Oregon, 1 point loss in Oregon last week. I actually think Ohio State's probably in the top 2 overall teams. Georgia's, after that big win to Texas, probably legitimately is the best team in the nation. I think OSU is a close second. I don't think Penn State is as good as their record is showing. I think they're going to be in tough against Wisconsin today and maybe lose, even in Wisconsin as the road favorite. But I do like this Ohio State team. I think their defense is stout. I think Nebraska is going to come in and have a really hard time putting points up on the board against Ohio State. Outside of the Oregon matchup, they've only given up 7, 7, 14, and 0 points. Ohio State has, and I think Nebraska's offense is not going to be able to be enough to. They only scored 7 against Indy last week. They did score only 14 against Rutgers. Purdue, they only got 28 points. Illinois, 24 points. And a no-name university team, they got 34 points. So I think Nebraska will be lucky to score 10 here. And I actually think Ohio State's going to put up 35 or 40 points covering that 25 spread that we got in yesterday. The line's already moved up to 26. I like this as a 4% play. Ohio State at home, 25-point favorite. Second matchup on the spread side, and then I'll flip it back to Ringer Jr. for his NBA picks, and then I'll review my over unders. Looking at Washington and in the Indiana Hoosiers here. Washington's coming into Indy as a 6.5 underdog. This line's actually moved down to 5.5, but I got it in at 6.5. I'm going to make this as a 4% play as well. I think Washington Huskies are going to come into Indiana and possibly upset Indiana. They're sitting undefeated on the season. Rourke, the quarterback, Canadian boy, by the way, is in the running for Heisman Trophy. He's been putting up pile of yards, pile of touchdowns. They're the 13th ranked team, really surprising a lot of teams sitting at 7-0, one of the undefeated teams in the nation. but he's not going to be playing today, or at least he's very questionable, and it doesn't look like he's going to be chalking it up today or putting the cleats on to play today. Um, I do think Indy's backup quarterback did go in and clean things up last week when Rourke did get hurt, and they actually managed still to put up 56 points against Nebraska. So we're talking OSU against Nebraska, only scoring 7 in Nebraska. Only scoring 7 in Indy. Nebraska's Ohio State's defense is way better than Indy, so I anticipate that 25-point cover. But we get back to this original game. I like Washington here. I know they're traveling west to east, but I do think they need to get it right. It's a good opportunity to upset the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers team, and I do think this is going to be a potential upset. We're going to take +6.5 Washington on the road to the Hoosiers. All right, Ringer Junior. Before I get it back for more college, you want to chime in on some NBA? Looks like you got some NBA prop bets you would like to take.
Yeah, so I also got two NBA plays today. I actually got my first prop of the year. I like James Harden over 23.5 points. In his first game, he had 29 against the Phoenix Suns team. Today, today they are playing a pretty good defense in the Denver Nuggets, but the Clippers really have nobody. I mean, they got a couple good role players, but Kawhi's out. They did lose Paul George this offseason. I do see Harden probably having a 25-point game here in Denver. He's gonna have to put on a show if they're gonna want to win this game. So I like that as a 3% play. And I also like Orlando over 111.5 team total. Orlando does not give up too many points or score too many points from last year. It's hard to base this game off of last year because Memphis didn't have John Morant or like other pieces like Jaren Jackson Jr. But Memphis this year they've given up 124 and 128 points to Utah and Houston, and Orlando scored 116 in both their games. I see them probably putting up 115 here, and in order to beat Memphis, they're gonna have to put up some points. So I do like this over 111.5 as a 3% play.
There you have it. Haven't really followed a whole lot of the prop side of stuff in the NBA action. I do know Orlando's coming off a back-to-back, so it'll be second game in a row for Orlando. We did have Orlando plus the points in the season opener that came in against Miami with ease. They won again easily last night by double digits. They've got a really young team here, so playing on a back-to-back shouldn't slow them down at all. There's tons of energy with that young team that they have. So 112 is not really asking for a whole lot, even on a back to back. As far as Harding goes, I haven't really followed much of that. So hopefully your analysis there will work out as your 3% play. All right, shifting gears back to college, we're looking at some over under totals. I've got 3 unders that I'm going to take all as 3% plays. Video's getting a little bit long here, so I won't spend too much time in the granular detail. But I'm looking at the Alabama Mizzou game. Two ranked 25 teams. Alabama with the 2 losses. Mizzou has 1 loss, 6-1, ranked number 21. Alabama 5-2. Coming off that huge upset to Vanderbilt, and a really close loss last week to Tennessee, and that battle in Tennessee, which was an awesome game. Awesome game to watch. Not sure which offenses are going to show up here. Missouri's quarterback is questionable. Cook's may not play. And if that's the case, I can't see Missouri scoring too many points. Alabama's defense needs to step up, which I think they will. They only gave up 24 to Tennessee in that barn burner game, but their defense has been okay, but they still got to get it right. And Mizzou's defense is quite solid as well. And I think Mizzou's going to have a hard time scoring if they're using their backup quarterback. And Alabama's offense is questionable. You don't know what you're going to get. It's going to be very difficult for this game to get into the 50s. It actually opened on Monday at 57. It's already dropped 6 points, almost a full touchdown since Monday's opening line. I still think this game is going to go under. I think it's going to be in the low 20s, 24-23, 27-20, something like that. That's going to stay under 50. So give me that as a 3% play. Shifting gears, heading to the Notre Dame Navy game. Navy slid into the top 25 as the 24 ranked team, sitting at 6-0, and Notre Dame sitting at 6-1. This line actually opened up, I think, at 52 or 53 on the over/under total as well, because Navy's been scoring lots of points. But what jibed at me was actually Navy's team total. It was sitting at 19 and a half, and now it's down to 16 and a half. So I think Sharp money's coming in on the actual over under total going under 50 and a half. I think if you look at both these teams, Navy is a run the ball type of team. And if Notre Dame gets up by 10 or 14, they're still going to run the ball, and it's going to just continue to milk clock. They might go on 7, 8, 9 minute drives for a field goal. And even if they get a touchdown, it's milking half the quarter. So if you look at that, kind of pegging like 10 points per quarter, and actually see this one, I actually see Notre Dame. I actually like Notre Dame as a lean on the spread to cover the 14 points. I see this as a 24 to 10, 24 to 17 type of game max. So give me the under 50 and a half. Notre Dame Navy 3% play. Heading into the night action, we got LSU and Texas A&M. Very interesting matchup. We got number 8 LSU against number 14 Texas A&M. Both teams sitting at 6-1. Playing for a lot here. If any of these teams get 2 losses, they're definitely going to be out of the top 12. So not guaranteed because there's 12 teams now, but it's going to be very difficult. And LSU's actually starting to play really good on the defensive front. They only gave up 10 last week to Arkansas. They only gave up 10 to University of Southern Alabama 2 weeks ago. They only got 17 to UCLA. They did give up 26 in overtime to Ole Miss, but Ole Miss's offense is huge. So I think LSU's defense is going to step up. And if you look at Texas A&M's defense, 24-10, 17, 20, 20. So teams are barely getting over 20. So this line's sitting at 55 and a half. If Texas A&M can hold LSU to 20 or 24 points, that means Texas A&M is going to have to score 31-32, and I don't see it happening with LSU's defense stepping up. So I think because this is a huge game and the line spread is so close, I cannot see in both these teams getting 4 touchdowns to get it up and over 55 and a half. I actually see this one in the 40s as well. I really like this one. I'm actually going to change that one to a 4% play and jack that one up. So give me LSU, Texas A&M as a 4%er under the total. Couple leans that I'm looking at just so that we can get some extra action there. I know the video's getting long here, but looking at some sides on the lean side. I like North Texas plus 7.5 at home to Tulane. Lost a tough one against Memphis last week in an absolute shootout. Memphis is a solid team. I think North Texas is going to come to play today. I like Bowling Green at Toledo. This Toledo team sitting at 5-2, but the record's not as good as the record is not as bad as the team is. So I guess what I'm saying, they're 5-2. A lot of folks like Bowling Green here to win straight up. I'm going to take them as a lean plus 2.5. As I say, on a lean, and I like Wisconsin playing Penn State, undefeated Penn State, ranked number 3 in the country. Wisconsin at home, very very tough place to play. Again, I think Penn State is not as good as their record. I don't think they should be the ranked 3 team. I think Ohio State should be in there. And I actually think Texas is also better than Penn State, even though they had that tough loss with Georgia. I see this game being much closer, and Wisconsin maybe sprinkle a little bit as well. Plus 5.5 at home against Penn State. Overs, I've got North Texas, a whopping over 70. It's going to be an absolute shootout. Tulane, both teams are averaging a ton of points. I like Baylor and Oklahoma State over 64. Oklahoma State hasn't been able to score. I think this is the game they break out, and Baylor's defense is not the greatest. And I like TCU and Texas Tech over 65.5 as my leans. So won't be making those official plays, but I do like those leans if you're looking to sprinkle a little bit of extra dough into that action. So quick recap, 4% plays for me. I've got Ohio State minus 25 at home against Nebraska. We got Washington plus 6.5 at the Hoosier Dome in Indy. For Indy as a 4% play. We've got LSU and Texas A&M and under 55.5 as a 4%er. 3% plays, Alabama under 51, Notre Dame under 50.5. And Ringer Jr., your recap is
Texas over 34.5 team total, 4% play. Kansas State minus 10, 3%. Hardin over 23.5 points is a 3% play. And Orlando Magic over 111.5 team total, 3% play.
There you have it. There's our picks. Please like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel. No 5% plays today. Nothing really jumped out that was crazy at us. However, there's NFL action tomorrow. You might find us tipping off another 5%er to try and get that back into the 70+% range. Find us at Twitter at CollinRing12. Have an awesome Saturday. Enjoy some football action. Have a great day.